Right? So today we are going to discuss long-term regulation of blood pressure. How the blood pressure is regulated. Long-term regulation. Okay. So regulation of BP, and we discussed there are two types: short-term regulation and long-term regulation. And this is neurological system controls the short-term regulation, and long-term regulation is mainly depends on renin, angiotensin, aldosterone axis. Renin, angiotensin, we will discuss detail, and aldosterone. Renin, angiotensin, aldosterone axis. So this we are going to discuss. So basically, I will draw one image and then I explain you. Okay, so this diagram you already know, right? Right heart and left heart. So here, so imagine suppose if a patient is having a hemorrhage or RTA or road traffic accident, whatever. So, and imagine a patient is blood loss is there. Blood loss, it may be internal bleeding or it may be external bleeding. You know the difference between internal and external bleeding. External bleeding, it occurs usually in road accident, RTA, any type of accident, and internal bleeding is which is bleeding inside itself, inside the body itself. But the blood is leaking out of the cardiovascular system. Cardiovascular system से बाहर आ रहा है, but body के अंदर ही है blood leak हो रहा. That is called internal bleeding. Okay. Imagine a person is having a internal bleeding, and what will happen if bleeding is happening? Cardiac output, venous return will reduce, cardiac output will reduce, blood pressure will go down. So BP will go down, right? If considerable amount of blood is leaking, then BP will go down, and immediately neurological system will activate. That we discussed yesterday. What is neurological activity? Carotid sinus will less stretch, right? If BP is increased, carotid sinus will stretch more, right? If BP is reduced, carotid it will less stretch. Okay, that we will discuss later. So what will happen? That we've already discussed yesterday. Okay. So if BP is low, I have told yesterday itself, few organs are involved in the long-term regulation. What are the organs I have mentioned? Lung, liver, kidney, adrenal gland. So these are some few system which is coming into play when during long-term regulation, right? Okay. So kidney plays a major role in the long-term regulation. So, kidney is, what is the functional unit of kidney? Functional unit of kidney, nephron. Okay. So I'll draw one nephron. Right? Actually, there are millions of nephron. I have drawn only one nephron, and this is the artery which is going to renal artery. I am talking about renal artery. We will see all these things in the digital anatomy. Just I am showing the image now. So this is renal artery, afferent artery, arteriole, and this is efferent arteriole, and efferent arteriole will become renal. This is renal vein, and it will go back to the circulation. Right? So this is renal artery, afferent artery and efferent arteriole. Right? Okay. So at the smooth muscles, listen carefully, the smooth muscles of afferent arteriole, what is this point called? What is this point called? Glomerular क्या है? What you will call it? Glomerulus, right? What is this? Proximal convoluted tubule, distal loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule, right? So here, the smooth muscles of the afferent arteriole, when it approaches the glomerulus, it is modified. Again I will tell. The smooth muscles, this is smooth muscles, right? The smooth muscles near the smooth muscles of afferent arterioles near glomerular apparatus, certain modifications occur, the smooth muscles of the arteriole, right? And this modified cells are called Polkisin cell. Polkisin, Polkisin, Polkisin cell, right? And what is this? Glomerulus, efferent, loop of Henle के बाद distal convoluted tubule. The smooth muscles of distal convoluted tubule is also modified. The smooth muscles of distal convoluted tubule is also modified, right? And there are few cells which are connecting the Polkisin cells and smooth muscles of the distal convoluted tubule. The blue color, this cell is called macula densa. And red color cells are called as Lessig's cell or connecting cells. So there are three types of cells are there, right? Again I'll repeat. So this is renal artery which is going to kidney, right? And it comes out as a renal vein, right? So when the renal artery, this is smaller arteriole, when it approaches glomerular apparatus, the cells of the arteriole are modified, and that cells are called as Polkisin cells, right? And in the in the distal convoluted tubule, the cells are modified, right? And that cells are called, name of the cell is macula densa. And दोनों cells को connect करता है कुछ cell that is called connecting cells or Lessig's cells, right? So Polkisin cells are baroreceptor, right? Polkisin cells are baroreceptor. Macula densa is chemoreceptor. Baroreceptor means they sense the pressure. Chemoreceptor, they sense the chemicals, right? And connecting cells, Lasix cells. So this three cells, that is Pulkison cell, macula densa and connecting cells, together it is called as juxtaglomerular apparatus. सुना होगा JGA, juxtaglomerular apparatus. So what is juxtaglomerular apparatus? Juxtaglomerular apparatus is the combination of three cells. One from three types of cells. One is soft arteriole ka soft jo modified cells, and second is, what is this? What is this? Nephron. Nephron ka ek modified cells and Lasix cells. Together it is called juxtaglomerular apparatus. Are you clear with the structure? Right? So now coming back to the lecture, see, a person is having injury and blood loss is there, right? So what will happen? Imagine instead of 5 liter only 4 liter are 4 liter is available. Then blood flow or the blood perfusion to the, see, all the body organs in the body will receive less blood because of blood loss. All the organs in the body will receive less blood. Circulation abhi kam rahega sare organs mein. Kidneys will also receive less blood, right? Perfusion to the kidney will also reduce. Blood flow to the kidney will also reduce. So when it reaches the Pulkison cell, when the blood is reaching here with less pressure, so what will happen? The Pulkison cell will now stretch less, right? If blood flow is normal, this artery will stretch normal and this will not be stimulated. When it will stimulate, when the pressure is low, Pulkison cell will stretch less, then it will become active, right? If it is becoming active, then Pulkison cell will release some structure, some enzyme, right? Hormone. And this is called renin. Renin will be released in the circulation. So, when the blood, listen, when the blood flow is less, because there is a blood loss, renal perfusion is less, and when the pressure is less, what will happen? The Pulkison cell will now stretch less. When it is stretched less, then the Pulkison cell will release renin into the circulation. Renin now it will come to through the vein, renal vein, right? And it will enter into the veins, larger veins, right? Are you clear? Okay. Now, normally what happens? Filtration occurs in the glomerulus, right? Filtration occurs. Listen, sit straight. If the blood flow is less, then filtration will also be less, right? Filtration will less, or it will be in a slower speed than earlier, right? First I'll tell normal and second I'll tell abnormal. See, See, normally what happens? First I'll tell normal. Normally the filtration occurs, right? Sodium will be reabsorbed, that is 65% of the sodium, that is the main function of kidney. Reabsorption of, absorption of sodium is one of the main function of kidney. What happens when the blood is moving, it is filtered, sodium is absorbed. Normally 65% of the sodium is reabsorbed from the filtered blood. 65% of the sodium is proximal convoluted tubule में reabsorb हो जाता है, right? Now that it is coming down, and here in this place 15% of the sodium is, again here it is reabsorbed, right? So 70, 80, so almost, right? Sorry, this is 25%, right? 65% of the sodium is reabsorbed in proximal convoluted tubule and 25% is reabsorbed in the before distal convoluted tubule, and by the time the blood reaches here it is only 10% sodium is available, right? 65 or 25, 90 हो गया. So by the time the fluid reaches here, 90% of the sodium is reabsorbed. Only 10% is available here. So what is here? What is present here? What is here? What is the name of the cell here? Macula. Macula densa is comfortable with 10% of sodium. Macula densa is, they are comfortable, they will not do anything, they will not stimulated, they will not be activated when sodium level is 10%. Now, in our situation what happens? Listen, blood is less, now perfusion pressure is less, right? It is moving slowly because blood is less, the blood is moving slowly and the filtration will also occur slow, right? Filtration will be occurring slowly. So the fluid is moving fast or slow? If blood pressure is normal, right, flow will be fast, right? If blood pressure is low, then what will happen? Flow will be slowly, it will move, right? Are you clear what I am saying?
Yes.
Slowly it will move. Because the fluid is moving slowly, the proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubule have more time to work on the fluid and absorb more sodium. Are you clear? Because the fluid is moving slowly, instead of 65%, it will absorb 70% here, and instead of 25%, here it may absorb more than 26 or 27%. Because fluid is moving slow. Why? BP is low. BP is low, right? So by the time it reaches here, now the macula densa will sense less salt. It will be less than 10%. Are you clear? समझ में आ रहा है? यहाँ पे अभी salt इसका less है क्योंकि all the sodium has absorbed because blood fluid is moving slowly. All the fluid is absorbing all the sodium is absorbed, right? So by the time the fluid reaches macula densa, it is less salty. Now it will become active, right? And now it will release, again this will also release renin. macula densa also will release renin into the circulation. Are you clear? So, the juxtaglomerular apparatus, which is made up of Pulkycin cell, which is the modified cell of afferent arterioles, releases renin when the pressure is low, right? And that is why we are calling it as baroreceptor, because it senses the pressure. If pressure is less, it will release renin. Chemoreceptor is macula densa, which is the modified cell of distal convoluted tubule. If the sodium level is less in the fluid, it will sense, because it is a chemoreceptor. If it is less, then it will release renin. So juxtaglomerular apparatus is releasing renin in two cases. One is because pressure is low, two is because sodium is low. Now the renin will come into the circulation. So now here in the venous side, not in the arterial side. Because now only the renin has come into the circulation. Here it is arterial blood. Arterial blood is this side arterial blood, and it went with low pressure and renin is released. Now the venous blood is having renin. Any doubt till here?
No.
So venous blood is now having renin. So now second point. Here, by the time the renin comes into circulation, the liver, the liver will secrete the angiotensinogen. सुना है क्या? Some proteins are present in the blood. I'll give so this is yellow color is angiotensinogen. They are the protein, right? Angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen is always present in the blood, but it is inactive protein. It is inactive protein which is secreted by hepatic cells, right? Yellow color is angiotensinogen, which is a protein released by liver, right? It is already available in the circulation. समझ में आ रहा है क्या? But it is a inactive protein. It's not active protein, inactive protein. So now what happened? Renin has come into the circulation, right? Renin, angiotensinogen will convert into angiotensin 1 in the presence of renin. पहले क्या था? ब्लड में पहले एंजियोटेंसिनोजन था, ऑलरेडी सर्कुलेशन में था, राइट? बट बिकॉज प्रेशर कम हो गया, किडनी ने क्या रिलीज किया? जुक्स्टाग्लोमेरुलर apparatus ने रेनिन को रिलीज किया. अब रेनिन ब्लड सर्कुलेशन में आ गया. रेनिन किसके साथ? रेनिन मिक्स्ड विथ angiotensinogen and it converted angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. Are you clear? So now yellow color is angiotensinogen, blue color is renin, right? Now blue color renin converted yellow color angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, right? Okay. So now what happened? So this is now what? Angiotensin 1. Right? Blue color is renin, yellow color is angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen is converted into angiotensin 1 in the presence of renin. Now the renin went to right heart. Right? Right heart, right atrium. Right atrium से right ventricle गया. Right ventricle से कहाँ गया? Lung. Now it is going to lung. Right? In the lung, there is a special cells in the alveolar capillary junction. What is alveolar capillary junction? This is alveoli and this is capillary. Alveolar capillary junction में there is a special enzyme which is called as angiotensin converting enzyme, ACE. Where is present? It is present in the lung only. Lung में कहाँ पे? Alveolar capillary junction में एक enzyme है, which is called as angiotensin converting enzyme. What is the function of angiotensin converting enzyme? It converts angiotensin 1. What color is left?
Pink. Last.
Okay. So this is angiotensin 2. This is angiotensin 1. And this is angiotensinogen. And blue color is renin. Right? Again I will repeat. Blood pressure is low. Blood went to the kidney. Right? Kidney has released renin. Two cells are releasing renin. Pulcicin cells and macula densa, they are releasing renin under the influence of sodium and pressure, low pressure. Now renin can come to blood, venous circulation, and it enters venous side. Right? But when it enters, already angiotensinogen is present in the blood circulation, which is released by hepatic cells. Right? That renin act on angiotensinogen and converted angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. And angiotensin 1 went to lung, and there angiotensin converting enzyme converted A1 to A2, and A2 now it is coming to the arterial circulation. Right? So in the beginning I have told renin, angiotensin, aldosterone. Right? Renin, it is released by kidney. Not kidney, JGA. Juxtaglomerular apparatus release renin. Because of renin, angiotensin came. Right? So, now, what is the function of angiotensin 1? The function of angiotensin 1 is it constricts the veins. It acts on, it binds with the receptor angiotensin 2. I am not talking one. Angiotensin 2, function of angiotensin 2 is it acts on the receptors of veins and it constricts the vein. Right? Angiotensin 2, when it is acting on the artery, it will constrict the artery. Right? So what will happen if veins are constricted? Venous return will increase, cardiac output will increase, systolic blood pressure will increase. समझ में आया? Which? Are you clear?
Yes, yes.
Ab this is the main purpose. If you want to increase blood pressure, what should happen? Arteries and veins should constrict. Arteries and veins constrict करने तो क्या चाहिए? Angiotensin 2 चाहिए. तो angiotensin 2 कहाँ से आया? Angiotensin 1 से आया. Angiotensin 1 कहाँ से आया? Angiotensinogen से आया. Angiotensin 1 बनाना है तो renin चाहिए. Renin is required. So without renin, angiotensin 2 is not possible. Renin, because of renin only angiotensin 2 came. And what is the function of angiotensin 2? Angiotensin 2 is to constrict the veins and arteries. If veins are constricted, venous return will increase, cardiac output will increase, systolic blood pressure will increase. If arteries are constricted, total peripheral resistance will increase, diastolic blood pressure will increase. So ultimately, the blood pressure will go high in the presence of renin. And renin is released by the juxtaglomerular apparatus.